Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I thought we'll take a break from the opening series and go through something which is extremely important. In fact, I should have made this video much earlier, but I am making it now. So please, this video might be a bit longer than usual, so please bear with me. But it's really important. So today's topic is going to be tactics. So I mentioned these couple of times in my videos, but not as a whole. I've never taught them as a whole or as a particular thing. So that's what we're going to do today. So I'll go to analysis board, and there are 24 different kinds of tactics in chess. So I'll be explaining maybe all of them today, if time permits. Sorry about that. So let's set up. So the first tactic is called the fork. So let's see a few examples of a fork, and then I'll explain to you what it actually is. Actually, what? Let's just set the whole board and just leave this position. Yeah. So let's play a normal opening line. It's okay. This is not a normal. It's not a normal opening line, but just some opening moves. So the now the queen is attacked, so queen has to move. Say the queen comes here again, trying to go for the scholar's mate technique, which I've already taught you. You just play knight takes c7 check. So what now? Now we see the first example of a fork. A fork basically shows the knight is attacking two pieces, the king and the rook. So now the king has to move since the rook first of all can't move, and even if it could, it would not be allowed because it's a check. So the primary objective is to remove yourself from check. So king d8 or king e7, and next move whatever he plays, you just capture the rook on a8. So a rook is when a particular piece attacks any two pieces where one of them is going to be lost. It need not necessarily be the king or the rook. It can also be any two other pieces. Let's give some more examples. Setup. So here it's white. It's white's chance. White to play. Load this position. Sorry, that was just my chair. So now let's try to look for the fork here. So forks are usually done by knights. That's why I'm showing you so many knight forks. So now you have to see where you can attack the king and the queen both. Else the queen will just like play something like you know some check to pick up the knight. Maybe she'll play the maybe queen will come here or something. Okay, not here maybe, or yeah, sorry. The queen will play this check to pick up the knight. This is a queen fork. Just notice. But had it been black to play, this is the queen fork. Yeah, attacking the king. Sorry, attacking the king and attacking the knight, which will then pick up the knight. Here the knight fork is queen. Knight to e6 check. The king moves. You grab the knight. You grab the queen, and here you just go about promoting your pawn. Okay, sorry, that was not right. You just go about promoting your pawn here, and then you know how to check. You promote your pawn, then you checkmate with the queen, and that's quite easy. So I'm not getting into that. This was a knight fork, and forks can be done by rooks, bishops, knights, queens, and pawns, and even kings. Every piece can do forks. So let me show some examples of each. So in this position, find the fork for white here. It's a b3. So you either lose one of the knights in the next move. For king forks, I'll show you this one. Yeah, king to f2 will win you the rook or the bishop. Most likely the bishop because he'll move the rook somewhere to safety. So yeah, that's there. And mind you, if he plays here, if he plays rook to f1 check, you just win the bishop on g2. So this is an example of a king fork. I showed you an example of a queen fork already. Let's show you an example of a bishop fork. here this is an example for bishop fork. The bishop forks the two rooks, and you will end up winning at least one of them. So king done, queen done, rook. Okay, I have to show you a rook fork, right? So let's just say something like this, and so let's say you have a bishop here and a king here. So this check will pick up the bishop because after the king moves, the bishop is hanging. Hanging basically means it's free to be captured without any blunders. So that's an example of a rook fork. So that those were forks. So next we come to pins. So pins I have explained to you quite a number of times in my videos, but let's exactly see what they are. So a pin is basically when a weaker piece is in front of a more powerful piece and it can't move because the powerful piece will get captured. So let me show you example of a pin. So this is a very common pin which you see in a lot of games. I'll just yeah, just some common pins I'll show you which happens usually. So this is a common pin which appears in most games. Now see, in this position, if the knight were to move, you just lose the queen and you lose the game, right? So that's why this knight is said to be pinned. Now there are two kinds of pins, absolute pins and relative pins. So what are the difference? So if I just continue from this position and if I play some more moves. So now let's compare this position. You have two pins on black, one to the king, one to the queen, both by bishops and both on knights. So look at this. Let's have a look at this pin first. So here black is completely free to capture the pawn. I mean it will be a blunder, but it is still allowed. It's a legal move. It is possible to be played. But in this position, if black plays something like whatever, and if I capture this pawn with the queen, you are not free to capture my uh, queen, because if you capture it will be illegal. That's why the computer does not even allow me to make this move. So this is an absolute pin where you have it's not possible to remove the pin piece at all, and this is a relative pin where it is possible to remove the pin piece, and in some cases you might like to do it, which I'll show you later in the video. Next is skewer. So skewer is when a more powerful piece is in front of a weaker piece, and the powerful piece moves and you get the weaker piece. It's kind of the opposite of a pin. So I'll just show you an example. So this is a very should I say trivial position shown in many movies. Uh, this was this was shown in Searching for Bobby Fischer, which is a very popular chess movie. So I'll just show you this one. Just a second. Right. Yes. So here, okay, I'll just set this position in load. So white to play, and white decide let me just rush and promote my pawn. Yeah. And here, white says, "Yeah, I promoted first, and now I'm gonna win." But surprise, surprise, surprise! Black also promotes to a queen. Now this is a skewer because the king is more valuable than any other piece. So it's a check. The king has to move, and you grab the queen, and you checkmate your opponent in a few moves. So this is an example for skewer. Skewer need not be a king and a queen. It may be other two pieces as well. Like let me just show you. You have a queen and you have a bishop, and say you have a king here, and as black you also have a queen, just make it so that you can't just have a knight maybe here and pawns. Yeah, so this is a position, and yeah, black also has a bishop. just covering the points. The position is all right. Yes, so this is the position. Oh, crap. Now I have to make it again. Just a second. I'm really sorry about what just happened. Just keep a bishop, a queen, a king, and a knight, a king, a few pawns ahead of him, a knight here, maybe a pawn, queen, bishop. So in this position, with black to play, this is the sides. Load. Yeah, now it's good. So with black to play, black can just play bishop to b7. So now the queen will have to move. The queen moves. Okay, sorry, my bad. This position is actually a check. So just ignore this for a moment. Yeah, now suppose you play queen here. You play bishop on this diagonal. So let's just ignore the fact that white can actually capture the bishop. Otherwise, let's see. Suppose white has to move the queen. You win the bishop on a8 on h1. So basically, this proves that the queen is also a more powerful piece than the bishop. When it moves, you can grab the bishop. So this was the skewer. Skewer can also be with a rook and a bishop, a rook and a king. But let's not get into the details because we have a lot more tactics to cover on and we're running out of time. So next tactic is the discovered attack. So there are two kinds of discovered attack: discovered check and discovered double check. So I'll just show them to you quickly. And in fact, just directly load this position here. Let's make moves. This, in fact, I've already showed you previously in my opponent's video in the Petro defense where I was showing some basic traps. You know, here this is a discovered check because what is a discovered check? When one of your pieces is in line with the king and one of your piece is between it. So had this been a black knight, this would be a pin, but it's your own piece, so it's you can remove this piece to give a discovered check, which is mostly useful. You can play knight to c6 to win the queen because it's a check. You can't capture this. You can also play here knight to d3 to win this knight. So this was discovered check and discovered double check. I am sure, as you can guess, is when show you have this position. Then this is a discovered double check because the check is given by the queen as well as the bishop. So basically, it's just a discovered check wherein the piece which you're removing is also giving a check. Even knights can be used for this purpose, like this discovered check. Even kings can give discovered check, not discovered double check. This position is like this, and suppose say you have maybe a queen. Just keep this up here. Yeah. So the checkmate here is just remove the queen, the king, which leads to checkmate because it's a discovered check, and these two lines are just protected by the queens. So this was discovered check and discovered double check. Now next is the windmill tactic, which is my favorite tactic, and you'll soon see why. So let's just delete this and just position the black king here and pawn. Let's just keep this back. So here in this position, can you find the okay, let's just give it black to move and load this position. So position is now loaded. So Black. Now there is a tactic here. Okay, wait, just happened here. Yeah, there is a tactic here. So black sees now this bishop is pinned to the queen. If he removes the bishop, the queen he loses queen. So he decides let's try and okay wait. What have I done? Okay, that was wrong. Sorry, I'm really sorry about this. It's happening a bit too often today. Please bear with me. But I promise you this is gonna be really interesting. This particular tactic. We'll see why it's my favorite in some time. Bishop here, and there is so yeah, this is the position. Just add the king and the queens. That will be it. Just put a rook here, the queens, and there here, the queen here. So now with black to move, let's load this position. I hope it's correct now. Yeah. Now this is the position which I wanted to show you guys. Let's load this. And here black has many good moves, but for some reason he extremely foolishly plays the move f6. So now what you can do is you can play bishop takes f6 and you're giving up your queen for free. So why are you doing this? I'll show you why. You play rook to g7 check, king to h8. You capture this with a check. It's a discovered check, okay? So the king has only one option, which is to come back. So the king has to play this. You play this again. It's check again. So basically, like a windmill, you just destroy everything that was there in this line. And now you regain your lost queen. And what move can he make? He can capture his bishop, and that is when you go ahead and win the queen and the game because you have two extra pawns. So as you saw, this completely whirling through the entire position, like boom, 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 winning everything in that line. So this is an extremely dangerous tactic, and this is called a windmill. So this was windmill. Now I hope you see why this is my favorite tactic. So next we see the tactic of interference. The interference position. So this next position which I'm going to show you is an example of quite a few tactics. So I'll explain them like all in one. So so let's see if we can find the checkmate for black in here. Load this position. So here black. Okay, wait, that was wrong. This queen should be here. Just triangulation and get the position back. Yeah. So this is the position, and here black plays queen to f6. So this is an example of a decoy, a deflection, interference, and back rank mate. So back rank mate is first of all when the king's pawns moderate and you just get your rook or queen down to deliver a checkmate. Interference is easily understandable, so is decoy and deflection, basically removing a defender. This is also an example of undermining. So undermining is removing the defender. So the queen is defending this square and thus defending checkmate. But here, if you're tempted to capture, this is just a checkmate. So this is an example of a queen sacrifice as well, a clearance sacrifice. Queen sacrifice is plain enough to understand. Clearance sacrifice is just making way for the rook to deliver checkmate. So queen sacrifice, clearance sacrifice, interference, overloading. So no, sorry, not overloading. Overloading as well. Overloading because you have to protect this. You have to protect yourself. So overloading is basically giving multiple jobs where one job is not being done properly. So interference is done. This was as well as overloading, deflection, decoy, and backrack mate, and x-ray attack. X-ray attack is you are attacking the d1 square, but not directly. There is a piece blocking you. So this is an x-ray attack of the king on the d1 square. So that was all for today. The time is up. So I do hope you enjoyed it, and I'll come out with tactics part 2 next week, where most probably I'll finish the tactics, and then we'll continue as usual with our opening series. But remember, these tactics are really important, and as I've shown you this puzzle section before in the puzzles tab, just go to the puzzles, and all of these are tactical puzzles. You see, just show an example of one. Start. So all of these here are tactical puzzles. The tactic here is a checkmate in one. Okay, what is okay? Sorry, this is my. I'm really bad at chess, and I just didn't see the rook. But there is definitely some tactic, and if you do spend some time, you will get it. I'm 100% sure of that. I'm 100% sure of that. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, do not forget to like and subscribe and share the videos. And I'll see you next week, continuing the tactics part 2. And tactics are really important, and I suggest you go over to the puzzles tab and do tactics. And this video was inspired from Chess Talk channel, whom I'll link in the description, and I'll also link the particular video which I saw. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week.